We are looking at the Airtable browse view on the Long Island Race Calendar website, and I got to this view by going to the Views and Videos menu and clicking on that first Airtable browse view selection. You'll notice that down here I have an embedded one-line view of the races, which is coming from a program called Airtable. The reason that we put it here is that if you read right here, this view has immediate updates, where the calendar views are only updated about once per week. All right. If we go over to the More tab, Corrections and Updates, you can look up right here. The last update was 6/8/20 at 7 a.m. and that's for the calendars, where again the Airtable browse view is updated immediately when we make additions and corrections. Now if you look, this is the menu bar, and you can see the races are each contained on one line of this view. Now it's pretty small, so what I recommend is that if you look here at the bottom right corner, click on View Larger Version. We'll now go over to a full screen view of that same calendar listing. All right, where again each line here is a race, and if you look how it's grouped, we actually have this grouped by the start date of the race and then the day of week, so you know this, July 26th is actually a Sunday. Now if you want to look into any of these races for more detail, well, you can just scan across, seeing all the different fields up here where the information is organized. The first field is race by, then we got race name, website link, we have a second website link, the current status, etc. You can explore it, or if you take one race like this Glerk Greenbelt Trail Run, click on it again, it opens up into a one race view. All right, where it may be a little bit easier to read all the information on that race. As I scan down, you can see all of these fields are in the same order that they are in the one-line view. All right. One thing to notice is that the first field is called a subject field, and we actually took information from 5 of the fields, concatenated it in this subject field as a convenience. So you see a lot of information in this first column. All right. First item is the race name, Greenbelt Trail Run, which you can see is now in the subject field. Then an asterisk, and we put in the distance field. Then another asterisk, and we put in the race venue. All right. Another asterisk, and we have the city and then the county. So this is the field that actually shows up in a calendar, and it's comprised of those 5 different fields. So you look down, we have a link to the website, which I'll just click on that. You see I'm opening up a new tab, and now we're in the race website as presented by Glerk. If you scan down, you can get all the information about the race, and some of this information was copied into our listing, but not all of it. And obviously for the most updated information on the race, you would go to the race website. I'm going to close this down. So we have it set up in a certain order here, but by using this menu bar at the top, you can do some really fancy searching and sorting. Number one, this group by, we got 2 fields. If you look at it, we grouped it by start date and then day of week. Now I'm just going to click up here in the white bar to get rid of that menu, and you can change that if you don't like this type of grouping. You could actually ungroup everything. But the real power comes in this filter menu, where I can now actually filter out on any field that we have in this listing. Click on the filter, add filter, where subject contains, and I can put a name in. Now if I open up the subject, I can choose any of the fields. Now I happen to like searching on the subject field because remember it's a combination of 5 fields. If I want to search on, let's say in the subject field, what's it going to in brewery? Let's just shorten it for brew because it actually contains it. Now you can see that it filtered out any race where the subject field has the word brew in it. And we can see that, down at the bottom there was 6 total, last one being a Port Jeff Brewery run, one of the famous ones that, again, this is by Glurk. Okay, let's go back to the filter field, and how about we filter out something like 10K. Okay. Now we have all the records where the subject field has a 10K in it. Obviously, if we look here, this is a combination of 10K and 5K, because it contains both. And we have a choice in the filter where we have contains. You can open it up and you can say does not contain, is, that's exactly, but it would be the entire field, which you're really not going to be matching. All right, so you have a choice and you can really play around and do some nice searching with this. Now, how about we want to search somewhere else? Like, let's put, we're not the subject, but let's go to the race by and contains. How about we look for those Glurk races? All right. So right now I'm viewing all the races by Glurk, all right, in date order. And you can easily look these up, scan through them, and you could add more filtering. You could have, filter contains, race contains Glurk, and contains, let's say, and not and subject contains, how about 5K? All right. Now I have all the 5K races that, are races by Glurk. I can just, with the X, omit the second condition here, and I'm back to the ones by Glurk. How about if we're interested in Race Awesome? Let's look AWESO. That's pretty unique, and I'm bringing up all the Race Awesome races. For you New York fans, some people really like the New York Roadrunners. Put it in, and here you go. You got all the New York Roadrunners races. So you got a very powerful search feature here where you can pick any field and combinations of criteria that you'd like to see. All right. I can now just delete out. I don't actually have to erase this because when you put nothing in the box, it shows all the races. You can see there are a total of 492 races in this Long Island race listing database. If I want to get rid of these group fields, just to show it quick, it's pretty easy. Go group on, and I'm going to take the day a week out of there, and now it's gone. All right. If I want to not group by the start date, I took it off, and now I'm just plain listing the races. And you see I don't have the date in here anymore. That's because I hid the field. So if you look at this 2 hidden fields, I'm going to just turn this start date back on, and now it appears right here. Right. Get rid of this menu, just click in the white area in the menu bar. All right, so I got them all in start date, race by, and what was I missing? The day of week. That's one more hidden field here where day of week, now I'm showing the Saturday, Sunday, etc. So you can customize, your display on here, as well as pick your, which fields to hide, filtering out, grouping, and of course when I'm in this mode I can sort by any field that I want to. Maybe I want to sort by, I don't know, here we go, current status. Right? I'm going to pick a field. I'm going to come down here and look for current status. Oop, I just picked it. And I'm sorting in alphabetic order, current status. Let's go reverse Z to A. Now we're showing them in reverse order. All right. But what's the second sort? How about we sort them in date after current status? So come up here to my sort, pick another field to sort by. Next one is where'd the race date go? Start date. All right. So now I'm sorting first by current status, then putting them in date order under that. So like I said, you have unlimited capability of how you want to hide, filter, group, and sort fields in this menu structure. And I'm just going to X these out, and it goes back to date order, which is default that I set up this view for. All right. Now over here we have the row height, which if I jump to medium, you'll see it separates, and you have more space for each race. You may like that. Tall, you can play around what you like. I happen to like the short view, but this is up to you. And you can actually print stuff. It's it's just part of the menu system. I didn't find it very useful, but some people may want to print, and it prints a PDF file for you that you could send to somebody else, but you're better off sending them the link. And you could actually copy this link up here in the address bar, right, if you wanted to send the direct link, or you could send them to our website, which is the tab over here. Video views, we're in the Airtable browse view. Just copy the URL here, send them that. You can go to the home page, just copy the URL and send them that. If you want them to start on the home page, it's really up to you. But I find the browse view in Airtable very useful for finding races quickly that I'm interested in. All right. Get back to complete videos, browse view, and sometimes I'll even use it embedded on the website here. But one thing to note is that if you start working with filtering, grouping, and hiding fields, and then you decide to view the larger version, all those settings are not remembered. I wish it was, but that's the way Airtable works, and sometimes we're restricted into what's available to us. So I hope you found this very useful. And of course, check out the calendars, and don't forget, when you go to that home page, I have an embedded Google Calendar, and if you want to add our calendars to your Google Calendar, with one click here plus Google Calendars, it will add all 4 calendars to your Google account. You have a choice after you click on here if you don't want all of them, and even if you do import all of them, you can turn them off at random. You can remove them, delete them, whatever you want. So don't hesitate to try out the calendar view and watch some videos on how you navigate in the calendar. It's very intuitive, and Google, Apple, and Outlook include some nice features. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. See you at the races.